So full disclosure, now that I'm doing YouTube videos, I was told that you have to turn your phone sideways for best formatting. So to have to look off to the side of my phone in order to have eye contact, that is the way to do this. So if I am kind of, looking away or whatever, this is my first time to really do this, so bear with me. So let's see here. There's a couple things. One, I had a friend who recently passed away, a long-term friend of mine. He did a few tours in the Middle East. He's was medically retired after an IED exploded his Humvee. Good dude. Well, we recently there had been a memorial Facebook page where everybody has been sharing stories and pictures, and I was reminded of a story that I had told in that group, which kind of got me thinking. Over the years, a lot of people would say that I should be an attorney. Maybe I'm just good with my words and being able to reframe things in the context to tell a story. And I'll tell two specific stories. There's a third one, but it's not as cool of a story. So there's two stories that I represented myself in one. The first one was with my buddy that passed away recently. And there was a group of us. We all went to downtown Austin. It's a city of party, a city where everyone gets crazy. Anyway, so me and one of my friends, we left the group and went to another bar to go see some friends. Now, while we were gone, two friends get in a fight. So we get a call saying that they're fighting. So we leave this bar. We are running, looking for them, and can't find them. Well, as we're looking for them, we go, I think they call it like a paddy wagon. It's basically like a truck that has one of those square boxes on the back, and then they put the people they arrest, and they just sit in that truck until the end of the night, and then they go to jail. So we find them in the back of one of those, and I'm talking through the window trying to get the phone numbers. I wanted to let their parents know they're going to jail because we were still younger. We were early 20s. I don't remember exactly how old we were. Early 20s though. So anyway, this little man syndrome cop comes to the back of the car, and he's screaming at me to tell me, to get away from the truck. So, I'll make this part of the story like a long story short scenario, because, he's screaming at me, and, I'm telling him I'm trying to help my friends, and he's screaming that I can't help my friends. I need to get away from the truck. So I'm telling this cop, I'm like, I don't know why you arrested my friends. You're the one that's acting belligerent. I think it should be you that's sitting back there. He didn't like that. So, I had stepped to the side and got away from the truck and, called the dude an a-hole. Well, he walks up to me. Next thing you know, he's like, do you want to go to jail? And I was like, well, seeing the kind of officer you are, you're probably going to take me anyway. I went to light a cigarette, and he grabbed my hand and started putting him behind my back. So I tossed the lighter out of my hand of my buddy and spit my cigarette out to him, and he saved the cig. So I go to jail, and I'm kind of pissed about this because, first of all, my two buddies, they got arrested for public intoxication. So did I. But they got arrested really because they were fighting, but we all get PIs. No field sobriety tests, nothing. So I'm kind of pissed, so I want to fight this. One of my friends lived in Houston, so he wasn't able to go to court with us. Now, my cop didn't show up, so mine was just immediately dismissed. And we did a little prep work before this, but my buddy's cop showed up, and we wanted to make sure our stories were straight, and we were just prepared to be in a courtroom because we were representing ourselves. Now, he was super nervous, but he did a good job asking me questions, and I did a good job answering them in a way that we were able to bring light to the fact that these cops just arrested us for public intoxication without doing, the proper steps that they're supposed to do. In fact, at the end of this, prior to the end of this, the cop got on the stand. The cop's losing his temper, But then at the end, the judge, and this is the best part, the judge said, "The integrity of the Austin Police Department has been questioned in my courtroom." Man, you just feel the fuel going through my body. I mean, we were both flexing on the way out of there. Just victory. So story number 2. For those that aren't from this area, there's the Guadalupe River. It's very popular to float. And there's also the San Marcos River. I don't remember which one's which that I floated, but normally I rent the inner tube and everyone gets drunk and floats the river. Well, this particular time, my friend had asked me if I wanted to kayak. Now, this guy's an awesome kayaker, so I'm thinking we're gonna go find some cool rapids. But in all actuality, we just did the same thing with the tubes on kayaks, and I borrowed a kayak. And we're floating down, and all of a sudden there's several police officers on the bank of the river, and one asked if I have a life jacket. Well, clearly I'm not wearing one, and I borrowed this kayak, so I don't even know if I have one, so I try to make something up on the spot and say that my buddy had it in his kayak that was just up ahead. So she makes me pull over. I got a drunk dude tied up to my kayak. And she ends up writing me a ticket. And I was trying to flirt with this lady. I was doing what I could to try to get out of this, and it wasn't working. In fact, the guy cops were all laughing at me, so shaking their head like, "You're dealing with her, not us. Like, you're on your own, bud." So whatever, I go about my day, have a good time. So I'm thinking, this will probably be like a $50 ticket, just pay it, move on. It was either 150 or 250. Whatever it was enough for me to be a little upset about this ticket. Because the ticket is, and as it turns out, by the way, the rule is you have to have a life jacket on your person. It can be stowed away inside the kayak, but you don't have to wear it. And I actually had a life jacket in there. I just wasn't sure of that. So I'm upset about this, and I go to fight this. And when I sit down with the DA, I asked for permission to speak freely about this law because I told her this law doesn't make sense. So she kind of chuckles and she's like, "Go ahead." So I explained to her, I'm like, "Okay, well, let's just lay this out here, because the law is that I have to have a life jacket, correct?" She says, "Yes." It's okay, but I don't have to wear it, correct? So if I fall off that kayak and the kayak's running down the river, then what good is that to have the life jacket on the vessel if I don't have to wear it? Secondly, if I get back to the kayak, I probably don't need to put the life jacket back on because now I'm back to my vessel and I'm good. And I was like, and furthermore, I was like, when I'm on a river and I'm on top of a more indestructible vessel than these inflatable tubes that no one is required to have a life jacket on, and it's more likely for those to pop, and everyone's drunk on these things floating down the river, and here I am getting a ticket because I have to have a life jacket that I don't have to wear. And she said that's a great point, and it got dismissed. So those are a couple of times I represented myself and felt very triumphant. Some people get scared of like going to court, and I would say for some people, rightfully so. Sometimes we get tickets for things that we shouldn't, and I always tell people that if you have a story that makes sense, just fight it. Go tell that story. Oftentimes if your story doesn't make sense, they'll just ask you to pay a small court fee, and then you go about your day, and that's still a victory in my book. If you guys have any triumphant stories where you represented yourself, post them in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube page and help me build this following. Thanks.